Hello! Welcome everyone, welcome to Dragon Memoria. For those wondering what this is, well, it's Dungeons and Dragons. More specifically, a group of people playing Dungeons and Dragons. Because I'd like to be sponsored by someone official in Wizard of the Coast, but, we're not, so gotta make sure that...
Sponsored by your name here.
Send me your sponsorship and I'll just add it in editing. As you can see, we have one picture among us, but don't worry. It's just because there is a camera problem, but our paladin is actually really here. Say something so that people know that you're here.
For the dragon.
See? Everything's covered. You don't need to say a single other thing.
Definitely wasn't a voice recording.
It definitely wasn't Raimi that said that.
Well, it could have been Remy. It just couldn't have been... Alright, so...
Are you doubting my talents?
Yes.
Guys, I suddenly feel very ill. I think I'm just gonna...
Well, to be clear, I'm doubting your imitation skills. Alright, so... Oh, yeah. There's supposed to be a recap with this. Because, yeah, we don't have it, like I said, we don't have any sponsorship, so we don't have to say anything about anything else than the episode. And if you like the music ambient mixer, there's a link below. That's about it. The other link is Chaotic Calling, who usually joins us after 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Or not at all, they haven't been here the last few weeks. But I believe that some of their player were, so... Alright. Well, imagine there is a beautiful introduction. I've started working on it, but it's probably not going to be the first thing that's finished. Instead, it's probably going to be a redoing of the logo that's going to be finished first. But imagine there's a beautiful introduction with music, which will probably never happen because I don't know anyone good with music. And then we're back in and the introduction starts. Hello. Time for the introduction. So, last episode. Well, the party waited for the Silver-Tongue Bard to arrive in the village of Darnel so they could ask him some questions. While they were waiting, the party's monk, Tobiyashi, decided to do a bit of his own thing, and while he was walking, he received an unexpected challenge from another monk. Surprised, Tobiyashi defended himself ferociously all the way to an unexpected end and was left with the problematic duel outcome. Fortunately, the problem was sufficiently resolved, at least sufficient enough to be placed on ice, quite literally. Not long after,
We call that a cold open, by the way.
Definitely didn't kill anybody.
No. Not long after, the bard they were waiting arrived in town, and after waiting for an opportune moment, after everyone had stopped pestering the poor bard, they presented themselves and asked their questions. After a conversation which left them with more questions, they decided to hire the bard to further research the hunter cult and the prophecy they'd received. After that, the bard invited them to listen to their to his multiple performance especially the last one, as it was a special request, which someone suggested that a group of adventurers in the village might be interested in. So, after promising to be there for the last performance of the night, except Fisher, who simply disappeared and we don't know where he went. Well, actually, the last thing he said was he was gonna go look for Orunak, and then he disappeared and never came back. And then Jork left the inn and decided to figure out where he's been for the past hour. But that is exactly where we left off. And so, let's hope.
There was a cat up.
Let's hope that let's remove the campfire because we're going to be outside. Let's start with Fisher and Jorg because Fisher is actually somewhere in the village, apparently talking to Onak, and Jorg is trying to find Fisher. And oddly enough, Jorg, why don't you make a perception roll?
All right. Ooh, a nice 24.
Oh, goodness. It really doesn't take long, and you just go outside, look around, you see a large tree. Feels like a nice place for Onek to be. And it only takes you minutes to find Onak, and, well, apparently Fisher's there. And just as you're arriving, you're hearing Onak, well, then, that's probably why you had that problem. Let me know when it's resolved. I'll give you more advice if you need to. Careful, it can develop into a rash if, you know what I mean. And he walks away.
Are your wooden components having issues?
None of your business.
All right.
Don't worry about it. I'm fine. What's going on?
We just got done talking to the bard. He's gonna play some music and stuff.
Oh. All right.
Yeah. He's also gonna do some research for us.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I could come back. I didn't realize he showed up.
Oh, yeah. You disappeared, so I thought I'd come looking for you. Sorry, I was intruding.
Does he
You're good.
know anything about yeast?
Yeah, sure. We can head back.
All right.
What'd you talk about?
We talked about a lot. He helped us a little bit with our prophecy, although it was a lot more of prophecying, so still pretty confusing. But you know how prophecies are.
Not really.
And okay, yeah, they're confusing.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, and yeah, that's mostly what we talked about.
Oh.
And then
Cool.
doing research for us. That was
Uh,
yeah. I think we're paying him like 50 gold or something to do research for a month.
I feel like
No, it was 50 to get him there, and then a bunch more for a month.
okay.
Yeah.
Huh. All right. Well, do I need to chip in on something?
If you want, we kind of did it while you weren't there, but like we're adventurers. We can afford it.
I'll ask somebody who actually cares about money.
Okay.
And I
This is
think
the
we just
part
head
where
back.
audience sneezes.
So I guess this means that you go talk to Remy. That's gonna be interesting. Well, Jorg, you take Fisher back to the inn where everyone is, and the bard is finishing to repair his familiar, his ragdoll-like familiar. And you arrive, Fisher. You get a comment from Terranad saying that now we know that your druid will never be able to also follow the career of a bard.
Yeah, I don't think that was ever on the table.
And that's all you hear, George, as you're entering. No, that
This
never
is
was on the table.
this is what we find out that Jorg actually has like a secret book like in his bag about this, his journal, like talking about his vast dreams of one day being a stage performer.
Well, that would be a very interesting dream because I looked at his stat right just before I said that, and he's missing 1 point in charisma to dual class as a bard.
Yeah.
Next ASI, man.
Yeah. That's his secret. He's gonna.
So,
Meanwhile, I think the only class that Raimi can't multi-class into is Paladin.
come on, stop rubbing it in. So,
What are you talking about? Like, do you know how stressful that is? It's like Raimi can't take after the most important person in his life.
well, you need to have goals in your life. So you enter the inn. You see everyone feeling slightly satisfied, slightly dissatisfied, and hoping they had more answers, but also not exactly disappointed that they had other answers. At least I hope. But your party is all there, and they decided to wait until the evening to get a musical representation, a story for children, and then a story for not children. Oh, well, audience, Tobiashi and Remy, you see Fisher entering. Yay! He's been found!
Hey, Fisher.
Hi. How much do I owe? Jorg said we hired the bard.
I do not remember the exact number, to be honest. It's like 10 something gold. 50, no, wait, plus that was 10 for the first part. I don't remember. Does anyone remember what he owed?
What Fisher owed? No. What you paid? Yes. So it was 50 gold for the spell component to teleport directly to the capital city of the Dragonborn, and then 1.5 gold for every day of research you want him to make. Officially, you gave him 15 gold, and Remy silently passed a sum also. So.
All right, I will tell you that amount.
Okay. There
I guess as Raimi is watching this particular conversation, it itches at the back of his brain as Fisher was gone for a little bit, and so his beak opens and says like, "All right, Raimi, where's the body?"
I just look away.
You guys lost the body?
See,
Just
no,
look further into my drink. Start drinking it.
it's chilling, if you know what I mean.
Oh, okay.
Tobiashi
Yeah.
apparently seems to be trying to drown himself in his glass, quite literally.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Toby, maybe either lay off before you get drunk enough you do it again, or go so far you pass out.
We'll see.
All right.
I
So,
do believe that might be his intention.
guilt.
Teach their own.
Well, Terranat does add something to you inside of you, Fisher, by saying, well, you know, sometime a good story can help to remove a few worries. Maybe your friend should try and stay up until the last representation. As I gathered, everyone is waiting for 2 stories and a song.
Yep. At least that's what he told us.
Toby, Terraned says don't get too sloshed that you can't listen to the bard.
All right. Okay. I'll get some water.
Apparently, my personal pep talk skills aren't good enough.
I order some water and drink it all.
You hear from inside of you, I couldn't have said it better myself. And so we see the evening moving a little bit. Let's say the shadows outside growing longer and longer, and then eventually, unless you absolutely need to do something before the first representation, eventually people start gathering inside the inn. So if you got something you need to take care of before this happens, now is the time to say it. If not, we start. All right. So, just as expected, everyone gathers in the inn. It's a small village, so everyone fits inside the inn. It's a bit tight, you know. There's a lot of people all strung up one next to the other. Some are standing, some are sitting on tables. But everyone wants to hear what the bard has to say, either in song or in story. And the evening starts extremely well, as he's rolled a natural 20 for his musical performance. It is a thing of beauty. Although
It is a spectacular rendition of Jesus Christ Superstar told in.
and well, it does look like he's using a lot of every resource he has for every representation. You're hearing him play a lute that he didn't seem to have earlier on, but you can also hear other instruments just appearing out of nowhere. Remy, you do recognize a few good use of minor illusion. So just to add other instruments, simple one in the background, and his ragdoll familiar also plays a role as he's dancing while all of this is happening. And the entire show is quite impressive, quite practiced also. But the first representation is exquisite, incredible. Although he is not quite on the same level as the bard that is in the garden, the elven bard, his musical skills are, without a doubt, exceptional. Just to give you an idea, even with a natural 20, his roll is above 30. So it is not something you've heard very often. When everyone starts being a little bit more loose and open and start talking a little bit more, and see also that the time is passing, he looks at all the parents and invite all of the children to listen to a tale made specifically for them. Well, of course, it's it doesn't exactly suit you as well as it would an adult, as well as it would a child, I mean. But for a child, it is an incredible story. It is extremely vibrant and colorful, and the ragdoll puppet seems to be taking on the role of the hero of this small story. For children between the age of as low as 2 or 3, or the equivalent, as there are a few halfling in the room.
Or
Although
a Kenku that really likes bright and colorful things. Don't discount Remy.
all right. Well, Remy also listened to this colorful tale in many ways. And it's good for people and and Kenkus of age as high as maybe 12 or 13. Although for a Kenku, I believe that is actually quite old. As it's nearly a third of your life at 15 years old.
I think they live up to 60 odd.
So yeah, nearly a third of your life. So, and like I said, it feels cartoony. It feels a little exaggerated, but it is a colorful tale about a young child who faces incredible odds and manages to save the day, or the equivalent for a child. Doesn't fight a dragon, but, large dog with wings. Which is extremely traumatizing for a small kid to see this huge dog, I mean... There's even a few children who, when they see the dog appearing, you see them look at Jorg's dog, and you hear a few child saying, "Is that gonna be another one like this in a few years?"
He'll be big, but he won't be angry.
Will he have wings?
Maybe.
Whoa.
Never know.
You see a few children moving away from your dog when you say this.
The children join because they're certainly in a different part of the tavern every time the puppy comes out.
But the tale is a nice one. Nothing spectacular, but it works really well. Really well for children and those who likes very colorful stories with magic sparkles and a few odd sounds and smell, just like all children like. After this story is done, you see a lot of the parents giving a coin to their child who absolutely wants to give a coin to the bard. And once they've given him something, which he graciously accepts, and his familiar bows down very deep with every donation they receive, you see most of the children, at least the very small one, anyone below the age of 10 or their equivalent, according to races, goes back to their own home, and a few parents decide not to stay. So you find yourself maybe surrounded by 40, 45 people when the evening ends. And there's still one story left. Everyone is gathering up, the adults, the teenagers. Some of them are getting something to drink. You hear a lot of them being very anticipating this very much. You can even hear some say, "Oh, I love this. I love these stories. They always fuel the imagination, and it's always very fun to live with those images in my mind. I keep dreaming about being a hero for a full month when they leave." Keep hearing those comments and get the feeling that, okay, well, bards have visited this village a few times in the past. And seeing as this one has a very prominent reputation, they are very prone to believing it's going to be an incredible evening. Once everyone is seated, do you all also seat around the bard, or?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
just making sure. Once everyone is seated, the tales. Oh goodness, I've erased through a page. Okay, there's a hole in one of my page. Once everyone is seated and everyone is ready, he starts his tale, and with again a very, very interesting role. His tale is very captivating. Unfortunately, I will not be performing it exactly as he does, because I am not proficient in dancing, singing, and rhyme making. But his performance is. The tale of the bard is well practiced. The story is told in rhyme and songs. Illusion, both visual and auditory, are used to convey the different scenes and actions taken by the heroes. The tale revolves around a group of adventurers. Their travel takes them across the battle-scarred land of the War of Aberration, nearly a little over 1,000 years ago. The party is comprised of the Dragonborn, something not unusual for a Dragonborn bard, followed by a thief of black clothing, a repurposed war machine, a jittery monk, and a follower of nature. Immediately after the description of the heroes, a lot of the children turn around and look at your group, and you hear the whispers of some of them asking if you are the heroes of this tale. Some parents force their young out of the magical moment, but others let the mystery hang and brew in their mind. The tale of the bard continues, his familiar taking on diverse role and sometimes interrupting the bard to make a correction or to give a hard stare at someone interrupting. All of which feels like part of the story, as neither storyteller leave their role, leaving only a dissonant note from the bard or a slow and creepy 180-degree head turn from the familiar to remind people not to interrupt. The tale has the hero joining up with a group of soldier and guard escorting a noble woman. They're escorting them back to the city of Bahanor. The party has to hurry as the noble woman needs to reach the wall of the city before time runs out. Looking down in a valley, the heroes see the incarnation of this clock in the form of an overwhelmingly large army made of aberration, only a day behind the heroes' party. Fortunately, they are only a few days from the city, meaning if they do not waste too much time, their 3 nights' rest this provides them should be enough to reach the wall of the city. The story describes them going through a forest infested with enemy scouts and evading larger group and only engaging those they are confident they can vanquish in haste, not involving the troops following them. After a night's rest, the heroes realize crossing the path of the enemy is unavoidable to reach the city, and following the noble's woman advice, they enter a cave which would deliver them at the base of the cliff. According to accompanying them all the while they were walking through the forest. But the depth of the maze in the cavern holds a beast waiting for them. As all good heroes do, however, they manage to push through and vanquish their enemy. The last day of travel has them crossing the future path of the aberrations. Their only road taking them to a bridge now submerged by a flood, and a beast waiting for them in the marsh they need to wade through, along with an army less than an hour away. As despair takes over the guards and the soldier, however, the heroes remind the group a marsh will slow down an army much more than a small group. And as hope comes back to the travelers, one last night is spent sleeping with one eye open before reaching the city wall. Now nearly at the gate of the city, the hero needs to face their last challenge. The army, significantly slowed down by the difficult terrain, a small window of opportunity is left in front of them. Small garrisons of aberration blockades the entrance of the city. Fortunately for the heroes, very little of the troops were engaged in the previous challenges, as if somehow they knew they would need them for this moment. Separating those troops in small skirmisher groups, they created a diversion to force the blockade out of line, giving them and the personal guard of the noble woman an opening to dash through and reach the gate. Just as the noblewoman predicted, upon reaching the gate, a protector settles the case of the pursuing enemies. The description of the protector bewilders many enthralled spectator, and probably Remy as well. A dragonborn of scale so white they radiate light, and a presence so imposing, its mere existence demands respect. It turns its attention toward the incoming enemy and unleashes a torrent of energy as it exhales. The energy is so potent the heroes can taste the essence of magic as it pours out, mixed with his breath. The protector scolds the noble woman for failing at her duties, and the heroes are taken behind the city walls. But this chapter of the adventure does not end here. After a stressful conversation in order to safeguard the existence of their smallest companion, the party is followed. Skip the line. The party are allowed to enter the city and rest for a few days. On the third night, however, as if warned by fate itself, the party finds itself on the rampart of the castle's wall. apparently at the right time, at the right moment, as a rogue enemy agent breaches the wall and tries to attack the inner defenses. The enemy is relentless in its attack, humbling most of the hero's abilities and skills. The outcome of the fight is left unanswered by the bard, and as you hear the audience slowly returning to their home, you feel this was intentional. Some talk of how impossible it is to beat the invader. Some talk of the valor of the heroes and how heroes would not be called heroes if they failed at this challenge. All, however, are talking of the bard's tale and how their dreams will be fueled by this tale for weeks, if not months. All are eager to see if their dreams will place them in the skin of the heroes, or their dreams will push them in an adventure of their own. But the evening ends, lights are dimmed in the inn, and your group very quickly is left alone with the bard still packing things up, getting ready to go upstairs. So, is there something you'd like to do before going to sleep?
I want to say to him, that was a good trick using our likeness in your story. It made the kids quite interested.
He looks at you with a smile and says, "A trick? Yes, of course." He keeps smiling as he's saying this.
That was a trick, right, guys?
I don't know. You're supposed to be the insightful one.
Yeah,
I guess
know.
that's true.
I don't know if he has any powers as a diviner or anything. So.
Okay, yeah. Where did you get that story?
It is a known story. It usually comes in 3 chapters, but this one is usually the one that draws more attention. It has more engaging fights, a little danger. The other 2 are, well, let's just say a little less hopeful in their ends. But like I said, it was requested by this odd person. I was hoping he'd be there tonight, this man with the black cloak, but maybe I just didn't notice him. I am not, after all seeing. I am just a bard who knows many tales.
Raimi, was he here?
Would Remy have been paying attention to see if he was here?
Honestly, the Dragonborn was too pretty. just dock an automatic 5 from his passive perception.
So basically, when Fisher says that, you see Remy going, what?
Were you not keeping an eye out for him?
The Brady responds in a woman's voice. Well, it does seem he likes the shinier things in life.
Okay.
Fisher, Terranad says, the bard is a silver dragon bard. He is shiny by nature. I think that's what he meant.
Yeah, that makes sense. you wouldn't happen to be telling the second two parts to that story.
Well, not today, but maybe next time we meet. I do have quite a bit of research to hand you. I can even take a little detour and try to make a few more research about the rest of the story. Make sure that every fact is well documented. Like I said, I mostly tell the first chapter of this story, called The Siege of Bahamor.
Yeah, okay. That would be appreciated.
Well, I will be in the library for quite some time, so won't be hard.
It's quite something. They even got what did they call him? The jittery monk.
Oh my god. Who said I was jittery? Come on. You can't believe everything you hear in a story.
Who said the story was about you?
I guess that's what everyone's assuming, so, I mean...
Well, thanks.
Well, you're very welcome. Apparently, I have a paid room with some of the villagers, so unless you need me for something else tonight, I will be taking my leave of you and, well, hopefully sleeping in a comfortable bed. If not, well, I will simply sleep with the knowledge of having filled everyone's dreams. And so, he bows to all of you, and...
I'll bow back.
There's a little apprehension in your mind sneaking. Sorry, audience, you said something?
I'll give him a nod of thanks for the story.
And as he turns around, sleep well, sleep adventurous dreams. And he walks out. And he pats Remy's cat as he's leaving. Just a small scotch on the head.
Oh, one more thing. If you could, if that guy,
Yeah.
he comes by again, could you let him know that if he's trying to send us a message, it would be a lot easier if he just told us.
Which one? The man with the black cloak?
Yeah.
Okay. So, the bard leaves, and you're left alone in the inn. Well, the night is... Well, it's there, and it's slowly getting the best of those of you who've been awake all day. So, exactly.
I think I'm gonna head to bed, guys. That was a nice story and all, but gosh, why do you have to call me jittery? I start walking upstairs to go to my bedroom.
I know that's not the word that he said, but I heard knife story.
Yeah, that's a knife story.
I'll be like, well, there definitely was a point to the story.
Next time someone tells it, I'm gonna knife them.
It appears to be about us.
But he also said it was an ancient story. So...
Yeah.
What if he's from the future?
I mean, couldn't you always just take a story and then just change the characters?
That's what I was getting at. It would make sense, too, for his audience.
Yeah. It's true.
But at the same time, what if the dark cloaked man told us told him to tell the story with us in it. Probably not. I assume it's an actual prophecy, but you never know.
We'll have to keep our eyes up for any situation that's, I guess, similar to the story.
We have
Yeah.
some prophecies. How are we gonna get through these all?
Yeah.
So if
Well, I
we
want
get
to be
hired by a
straightforward. If we ever find
mysterious
ourselves,
political lady, we should expect to be hunted by a large army.
I don't.
yeah,
Interesting times. Interesting times.
mm,
And then we find out that it's not an army of aberration, but rather an army of like women that just will not leave audience alone. For the first time, they'll wonder if maybe he's made a great error.
there is such a thing as too many women.
Well, I'm gonna go try something I heard one time, which is to go sleep on it. So I'm gonna go try that. See
That's
if
a good
anything
idea.
pops
Yeah,
up.
I'll see you guys tomorrow.
I'll do that too.
Alright.
We're gonna meet back here, or
Nope,
Yeah.
that's where we part ways.
okay. Well, see you guys when the prophecy happens.
Yeah.
I'm going to wait. Actually, I don't know if I know how often. Oh, never mind. It's only a minute. I thought bless was an hour. If you told me
Oh,
you were
God,
trying
no.
to dream, I'd bless you. But
I don't think this is a conscious thing. I don't think I go to sleep and I'm like, no, couldn't do it.
Hey,
Do it.
The moment you see him go offline, you start praying next to his bed throughout the night.
you'll have good dreams this time.
Dream, dream. All right. So everyone goes up into their own room. I trust you to pay the appropriate price for your rooms. And well, as always, Fisher, since you're trying to sleep, make a wisdom saving throw.
What's the appropriate price? What kind of rooms do you get?
Depends on what kind of room you want. But
Yeah, I guess to be fair, I think Tobiyashi is the one person who doesn't know.
So in a small village like this, the priciest room, well, Remy and audience most likely already took them. So you have a room for 2 silver. You're gonna get a meal for the night and the morning, and it's individual bed.
Okay.
So that's a 2. I'm going to use my lucky coin to re-roll it.
I know this is why I
That's
gave you
a
the
6.
coin, but it still makes me upset.
And a 6?
Yep.
All right. Well,
Bumped
I
up
guess
from a 3 to a 7 on the die.
I guess the DC goes down 1 more point.
Oh no.
One day you will succeed. I know you will.
I'm just don't mind me as I
I
disappear
definitely-
from my camera, but I just need to go find a pillow real quick and don't do anything that can't be heard.
I'll go wake Fisher up for some reason, and then go back to sleep and try again.
Dude, wake up. What? Nothing. Go back to sleep.
Jeez.
I forgot. Yeah.
I just wanted you to have advantage when you were rolling.
I did, essentially.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, one roll was more advantageous than the other. All right. Tobiyashi, you probably have a small dream, as I'm pretty sure your mind is racing a little bit from everything that happened during the day, and maybe a little bit from the evening stories. You have this moment of trying to fall asleep and then opening your eyes and finding yourself around a campfire. And at that moment, it really doesn't feel odd at all. As you look around, you realize that your hands look a little younger than you are right now, and you recognize your master in front of you. Just taking care of a few things, and just as your master always did at the end of each day, he would just look at you with his usual unnerving calm and just ask you, "And so, what have you learned today?"
Ooh, pressure's on.
Jeez.
Pop quiz.
Pop quiz. What did you do wrong?
He's got the pop quiz nightmare going.
I guess to think before I act. I didn't want to murder that guy, but and then that's we'll end it.
Well, at least you're learning. There are far too many people who don't deserve to have died, who are dead, and people who are alive and deserve to be dead. But remember, some of them actually do deserve it, if they cannot be brought back to the proper path. Some of them are too far gone, at least in this life. But this is why you always need to be patient. You always need to remain in control. It is the only way you will know before you make something irreversible.
All right.
Very well. Well, you have learned something today. And that is essential. That is what life is all about.
Exactly.
I was waiting for the lesson to be don't get caught next time.
Yeah.
His master is not a rogue.
I will try my best to not do this again.
Remember, it is easier to go where you are looking rather than go somewhere else while looking at something else. If you're trying to avoid something by staring at it, you will most likely end up where you do not want to be.
Okay. Some rogue advice.
Hey, apparently we have a raid.
Let's go.
Hello. So, the dream becomes blurry and you find yourself waking up. Audience, you have this odd moment inside of your dream where you fall asleep thinking about the story, thinking about the noble woman. You know, she was attractive the way she was described. Then again, you know that Bard make it obviously, purposefully, slightly ambiguous so as to leave your imagination rolling and building something that you'll enjoy seeing again in your dream. So, of course, the description of the woman lingers in your mind. Love to see her.
Yep.
But at one point, you have this moment where you feel like you're being watched from inside your dreams. and you have this sense of someone just whispering. And so the challenge begins. Let's see how good you are when everything you can do doesn't matter, doesn't help. And you wake up from that.
Oh, I'm like, well, that doesn't seem great.
The thing is, when you wake up from that, Jorg, audience, Tobiashi, and Fisher, not Remy, for reasons that, oddly enough, we talked about 2 episodes ago. So you're an exception in this thing. But Jorg, audience, Tobiashi, and Fisher, make a wisdom saving throw. I know you love them, Fisher, but...
Ooh. Jorg only got a 12.
I only got an 8.
Okay.
This still the same night or in the morning?
That would be a 24.
Nice. Technique. Oh goodness. This would be considered the same night.
Well, this one I got a 15 on.
Okay.
Let's go.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, for Jorg and Tobiashi, this moment is very confusing as you're waking up. Because everything is slightly foggy from your perspective. You're trying to focus, looking around you. It feels like it's normal what you see, but there's just this nagging thing in your mind that something's weird, not exactly right. You're all around a campfire as you're waking up.
I'm going blind. No, sorry.
For Jorg and Tobiashi, it's a bit odd because it feels like your peripheral vision is not working as well as it should. It's sort of slightly blurry, but it also, you don't think it's odd. The colors around you feels like under a green filter. For audience and Fisher, you rolled just high enough.
Hey!
And audience, you rolled exceptionally well. You have this moment of strong confusion and then looking around. This moment of, okay, that's the campfire. Oh, I didn't sleep too well. Hold on. I wasn't around a campfire. You're having trouble remembering exactly what was just before. But for you, it's clear. This feels like you're in a dream. But also, something inside of you tells you this is not a dream. Remy, like I said, for reasons that we strangely talked about 2 episodes ago after the episode, you wake up with the sensation that this is a dream, but contrary to everyone else, you probably have a moment of what the fuck?
What the fuck?
Because it feels so much like a dream. But that's not how dream pictures are supposed to go with you. So you know for a fact that this is way beyond a dream. Even though it feels like a dream.
Well,
This is how
Maybe
you
just
all
was now
wake
like looking back around paranoid.
This is how you all wake up. Just at the entrance of a forest. Feels like you just spent the night there. It's early morning.
get up. Well, you guys ready?
For Jorg and Tobiyashi, what you're doing is a bit foggy. You remember everyone. You know that you're walking in a direction. You're traveling. You haven't been on this island chain for very long. But then you have this moment of, island chain? Weren't we somewhere? Weren't we in an inn? Nah, that doesn't make sense. We're traveling. Yeah, we're traveling. We've just arrived. It's only been a few days. Has it? This is how confusing it is. There is this conflict in your mind of something of a dream reality trying to push itself on you, and your mind fighting so hard. Audience and Fisher, you feel the conflict in your mind, but you rolled high enough that you find things to hold on to that helps you remember that no, hold on, that's not right. This is a dream. Like I said,
where'd my
for Remy,
gold go?
you just know.
So wait, where were we going again?
We hadn't decided yet. We went to sleep at the inn after talking to the bard.
Yeah.
The inn? What do you mean inn? Weren't we sleeping here all night?
The night after you killed the guy.
And as you're laughing, there are things of that just resurface, just like a few bubbles. Just wait, I did kill someone. Why?
Wait.
Why?
Hands up. Who knows this is a dream?
I'll raise my hand.
Remy raises his hand, but also just like still looking around.
Is this a dream? The fire feels kind of real.
Yeah.
Remy looks heavily disturbed.
You guys are just my dream, right?
No.
Wait, so is this all of our dream?
Well, that's what a dream person would say.
I think I remember something about some story.
Audience, Remy, it seems like these two are out of it. This, correct me if I'm wrong, this is not normal to see other people, or the actual other people in your dream, right?
No.
Remy still just has kind of like giving you a look, then looks left and right again, then looks back at you.
Fisher, you can feel just by looking at Remy in his eyes.
So even if this was a dream, and you're not just a dream person telling me that this isn't a dream, well, this is a dream, what are we supposed to be doing?
That's probably what we need to figure out.
If this is a dream, I'll pinch myself.
How hard are you pinching yourself?
Hard enough to hurt.
You lose 1 hit point.
Roll it.
You really just pinched yourself really hard, and then you just all see him twist his skin until it starts bleeding. And
You guys are full of shit, I think.
Well, I mean,
what inn were we in?
I don't remember.
All right. Well, whether or not this is a dream, we should figure out what we're doing.
Well, if this is not a dream, then you should remember what we're supposed to be doing, right? What happened yesterday?
I mean, I got told this is a challenge where there's nothing I can do. So I feel like whatever this isn't on me.
wait,
Way to shirk responsibility there, bud.
wait a second. Wait, were you guys here when my master was here?
No.
No.
What island chain is your master on? Maybe that's where we're at.
I don't know where he's at the moment. He could be anywhere. He's kind of a traveler.
Uh-huh.
As best you can tell, Jorg and Tobiashi, like I said, you just got here. It's only been a few days. You're walking in a straight line. Of course,
Well, I mean,
you wanted to get to something that's a place that's known, but you don't really know the cities and towns of this this island chain very well. There is a name that pops up in your mind. It feels like one of the most prominent city of this place is called Bahanor.
well, we're right here at the opening of this forest. I guess we just keep going.
Why would we just keep going if we don't know where we're going?
Well, we got to figure out where we're going somehow. We can't just stand here forever. The
I'd like to
fire's
know what
gonna
I'm
go
walking
out.
into before I walk into it.
You guys know of a city named Bahanor?
What was that?
No.
Just something that ran through my mind. Maybe that's where we're going.
Raimi just opens his eyes wide and looks.
Jorg, the name Bahanor feels familiar. You know, maybe he's right. I think you've heard about this being one of the prominent city in this island chain.
Yeah.
Question.
Yeah.
Does this current campfire dream, how similar does it feel to the campfire dream each of us had when our artifacts first introduced themselves?
This one feels a bit more foggy. In your mind, like I said, for Fisher and audience, you feel like because you can grab on to some elements, you can remind yourself that this is a dream and there's something odd, weird about this. While your object were inducing dreams, you didn't feel like there was something odd about what was going on. It felt natural.
Raimi,
Raimi,
audience,
just-
you remember Bahanor, right?
Yes.
Do we remember? I actually remember last night.
Fisher and audience and Remy, yes.
Alright.
It takes just a few moments, as if you're trying to remember something that's been buried a little deep, but yeah, it comes back. And actually, you probably have one confirmation, Fisher, that you might enjoy. Karen had helped you remember the description of Bahanor. He is awake and there with you.
Wait a second. But
Where's
this is a
Terry at?
dream.
Can we
This-
get a
okay,
Terry
that's
sign
weird.
episode?
Taranat, do you know this is a dream?
Oh, just like you. Feels like it's not there, but it is. And my
Uh-huh.
peripheral vision sucks right now.
We must have gotten like knocked out pretty hard. Maybe we were drugged or something.
I think there's some weird magic stuff going on.
as you're saying this,
Yeah.
I'd say Remy, because he has the highest passive perception, you hear a branch crack. Maybe 70 or 80 feet away. Inside the forest. Just a...
Rainy jumps at that and, like, almost instinctively pulls at his short bow and aims in its direction.
You guys ever read the story Inception?
Intro.
I'll react to Remy pulling
Well,
out his
yeah,
weapon,
exactly.
pull out my weapon.
Yeah, I'll do that too.
Raimi hops up.
You...
Alright, I'll get ready looking in the direction.
Everyone reacts to Remy.
There was a forest and story. There was a swamp.
As
We
your
were running from an army.
As your mind is racing to try and put the pieces of the puzzle together, you hear someone just scream, "Halt! State your business!" And you see 24 guards arriving, weapon drawns, with spear mostly, pointing in your direction.
Is there a noble lady with them?
Make a perception roll.
I put my hands up. I don't even know my own business here.
Is my cat with us, or is it just me?
I got a 10 or a 13 with Darnel.
Okay. Currently, you do not see your cat. No.
Okay. But I know that. But again, I know this isn't a dream. It's a.
You know
It's
that this is weird, and you can. You sort of are in this place where you remember both realities, the dream and the not dream reality. All right, Fisher, you look around, and although you do not see a noble woman, you do see a group of 6 heavily armored and armed guard forming a wall around someone.
Do I remember the noblewoman's
Fisher.
name from the story?
I'm gonna lean over to Fisher and whisper, "We're heroes. Remember, we're supposed to be heroes. Just say we're heroes."
What am I gonna say? You say it.
Okay, fine. I'll shout
You're the
back.
one that talks to people.
I'll shut up. We are heroes of this land, here to slay all evil and wrongdoers.
I look over at audience like, who said I was a hero? What?
Now you're the timid monk. Remember, play your role.
What?
Jittery.
Raimi just like throws a dagger in Tobayashi's head, the blunt end.
Oh my god.
For some reason, it feels familiar. Inside the dream, he has done that before.
I whisper to audience. Remember, we're the shiny white dragon thing guy, and then the other one.
Yeah, but we're not at that part of the story yet.
Yeah, but we could be from them.
You jumped to the end of the chapter, god dang it.
So, as you're...
They could have hired us.
So, what exactly do you say to the guards?
I said exactly what I said.
Okay.
We are heroes of this land.
Make persuasion roll, please.
Let's go. Persuasion.
I assist him.
Please do.
Yes, you can help him.
Roll again. Because I ain't doing it.
There's an 18. Thank you, Dre. That was necessary.
Whew. You had this moment of hesitation as you saw everyone draw their weapon, and the image of the noble woman went in your mind, and you got distracted for a moment. And we are heroes, but thankfully, Fisher helps you by reorienting the discussion in the right way, and then you. When you say this, you hear a feminine voice coming from behind the wall of guard, just saying, "Come on, stop being so fearful of everything." It is a feminine voice, and she just pushes some of the guard out of the way, quite literally, nearly a tackle. But you get the impression that the guard is not pushing against her intentionally, because he might get in trouble if he does that. But he does make one step to the side, and you see a woman. Well, she's definitely better dressed than what a peasant would be, and she's doesn't show any signs of being dirty in any way. She hasn't been playing in the field all day. She hasn't been tilling the land or taking care of someone. She's well dressed.
Purity hasn't been sullied.
I'd agree only by saying in some ways. The other ways you do not know. You won't know unless you ask, and then you'll probably be looked at really weird if you do. But she pushes them out of the way. There's a tomboy feeling to the way she's doing this. She's tall, sort of has this pale golden color in her hair, slightly wavy, tied in a way that shows that it's wavy, but also not gonna get in her way if she picks something up from the ground. But she's definitely very elegant in the way that she moves. She's very agile and charismatic, apparently, as none of the guards seems to want to cross her vision when she looks in their direction. They just... Yes. And she comes right at both of you, Fisher and audience. Heroes from another land. Well, that's incredible. That's so fortunate. We've been hurrying, and I'm sure we could use a group of people that looks seasoned with adventure. And she looks at all of you rapidly, just evaluating each one of you. Well armored, well armed, a little short but proficient with a dagger. He looks very nervous, and he points toward Tobiyashi.
God damn it.
And you
Still have my hands up. I'm
You
like,
may look nervous, but you know when you corner him into a fight, he's pretty good.
He's got that killer instinct.
God damn it, guys. God.
from inside.
Oh, no, hold on. This has to be diegetic. Raimi pipes up in a gruff man's voice. He's got a killer instinct, I tell you.
And she looks at you, Jorg, and a master of herbal medicine. That's always very useful.
How'd you know that?
The kid's right there.
You hear a guard go,
You smell like weed, dude.
well, yeah, that's what the guard does, and you see the noble woman just elbow the guard. It shows. Yes.
Sorry, I'll let you finish.
Oh, that's quite all right. And what would your name be? She looks at all of you.
I'm Jorg.
A fitting name.
Yeah, sure.
My name's Tobiyashi, and I'll bow.
I'm audience. Pleasure to meet you.
From this day forward, your name shall be Raimi.
What an odd way to talk. I'm guessing your name is Remy then. Fisher, from inside of you, you hear Taranad go, "Oh no. This is the war. Be careful." The insignias on their chest. It's an insignia from the war. No one knows about sentient construct. And this time, it's not something that exists. Stay in line. Please.
I kind of straighten up into more of a like parade rest posture.
When you can, try and talk to one of your friends and tell them that when they're there, when they're looking, you're supposed to be his servant. And only he can give you orders if you don't want to get conscripted in a war which ravaged the land for centuries. You're a machine. You're expendable. Remember.
I don't
Hollywood.
say anything in response.
Ma'am, a couple of these guys say we're dreaming.
Well, just shake your head, have a little bit of water, and I'm sure the dreams will go away. As for me, my name is Kalina. And especially with Remy, with that memory you have, and probably Fisher in audience, the name does sound familiar with the story of the bard.
Okay.
Although
so,
he didn't pronounce it quite like this. But
Okay, so she's supposed to betray us at some point. Got it. Keep that in mind.
How did you spell that?
Kalina. Kalina.
Actually, pretty close. Most of the time, I'm way off.
Okay. Well, gentlemen and birds, what do you say we just keep on going? As there's a little bit of problem following us, and it would be a very good idea to not be here when they get here. And she slightly turns toward what for you would be, you're facing her, so it would be your left. And she points down, and suddenly you realize, oh, okay, there's a valley
guess
next to
it's
you. And in the middle, in the valley, you see a very large cloud of dust arriving from a distance. Roughly, you're used to traveling. Should be here in about a day. We're slightly safe right now because this is a plateau, so at most we'll encounter scouts. I'm hoping you are very proficient in combat. If not, well, we do have a few guards with us, but I'm not sure how good they'll be in a mini fights. So, how about we hurry along?
Yes.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Echoing previous
Are we
comment.
headed to perhaps a nearby keep or castle?
Yes. We're heading to Bahanor. I'm a resident of the place.
Mm.
Remy, with your passive insight, also. Well, actually, you're not the one that has the highest insight. So maybe there's someone else that picked this up.
I just look over at Jorg. I'm like, what did you give me last night? I just need something for sleep. What-
Man, I don't know. What did I give me?
Honestly, I think Remy's just really sad because after she said a certain thing.
Well, Jorg, Tobiashi, and Remy. When she says she's a resident of the city, you sort of pick up not something from her, but from the guards. An uneasiness, not at the fact that she might not be honest, but the fact that they didn't want her to be dishonest. Not dishonest. I mean, this other word, honest. And a certain relief that she didn't say more.
Okay.
So, hurry along, and might I suggest having your machine open the way? I mean, I'm guessing that he has a good scouting proficiency.
I've never really noticed him scout. He's always seemed more for combat purposes, but sure.
A bodyguard.
I speak up. Yeah. I speak up.
Okay.
Ma'am, my model is more suited towards close quarters combat.
A bodyguard. Well, I already have some, but it's always useful to have one in a group. All right. Well, then, if one of you is good at scouting, it would be very nice if they could take point.
I just look at Remy.
Yeah.
Everyone turns toward Remy.
Remy's still looking a bit down on himself, just like slowly nods and just starts trudging a bit forward.
He looks upset for some reason.
I do not know why.
Yeah,
Okay.
isn't that like
Well, he is your companion. I mean, but maybe you haven't been traveling all that long together. Maybe he's the last member of the group. Very well.
this might sound a little weird. What are we fighting about?
From how far did you come?
Don't know.
My friends, I'm shaking my head vigorously at George while he's doing this. Like, you need to not.
Okay, actually, I remember now. I took something weird last night.
This guy's always high. You gotta leave him. He's always taking herbs.
Oh, yes. Well, okay. Well, for those of you who might have missed the last 50 years, we're during an expansion circle of the aberrations. So it's best we not stay in their path.
I remember that now.
I'm pretty confident the wall will be enough, and don't worry, we really just need to reach the wall, and there's going to be something waiting for us there. I know it. I know he'll be there. We really just need to reach the walls.
All right, let's get going. We've been talking here for like 30 minutes.
Very good point. Yes. Let's keep on going. Don't forget it. And she points toward you, Fisher. Come on,
I start walking behind Remy.
Come on, my feathered friend. Lead the way. And so, how do you lead the way?
As everybody starts moving out, I'm gonna look to audience and go, sorry, sir. I know you ordered me to make sure Jorg and Toby didn't fool around with any plants last night, but something happened. I think I might be a little faulty.
I'm gonna roll
Just-
insight on that. I'm gonna roll a 6.
Fisher's talking really weird right now. Maybe it's the dream reality, but he was talking better than that a few moments ago.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, doesn't seem like Fisher. But also, why is he calling me sir? I'll be like, yeah, you seem a little off. Why are you calling me sir?
Well, that's what I have normally programmed to call my masters. Just make sure you word your commands carefully when we're around these new folks so that I don't misinterpret an order and do something.
All right, I think audience is smart enough to get that. Also with the time, because he doesn't know about that version. Be like, oh, okay. Right. That makes sense.
All right.
Man, now even the Warforged are pining for audience.
All right. And so, the guard quickly extinguished the campfire. You were around, really putting out every bit of ember, making sure nothing can be seen from afar. And as soon as everything is placed and you've all packed your things in your backpacks, you all start walking away. Of course, after a few minutes, you have a guard approaching you, Fisher, saying, could you take care of this? Maybe carry this for our friend. He's been injured in a fight earlier, and he gives you 4 water skin full of water. If we ever fall into a fight, just let them drop, but just relieve as much weight on him as we can. Thanks. Doesn't wait for your answer. He just shoves it in your hand.
I'm programmed just to take orders from the Dragonborn audience.
Oh.
Ask him if you want me to do something.
All right. Mr. Dragonborn, Mr. Audience.
Yes.
We have an injured party member, and we'd like to relieve him from as much weight as we can. Mind if we use your machine to carry a little bit of material?
I'm trying to give Fisher the eye. Are you okay with this? Are you not okay with this? Is it
I don't have any facial expressions to respond with.
I guess I want to be helpful, so I guess I'm I guess as a hero, I would say yes to this. So Yes. My machine would be happy to help your compatriot. Fisher, could you what was the name of the guy so I can give the order?
The
Guard
injured.
number 3.
Well, since there's over 50 guard and all, I tend to agree, but let's call the soldier Kalnad.
All right, Fisher, and can you point out which are the soldier?
Yeah, just his equipment. We're gonna keep his weapon on him, but and his armor, but basically his backpack. And now he doesn't just shove his 4 water skin on you. He gives you an entire second backpack to carry.
Okay, I'll be like, Fisher, can you please carry this?
Of course, sir. But if I carry much more, it will impede my combat capabilities.
Very well. I will not ask you to. And then I'll turn to the other soldier. I'll be like, we can't ask him to carry much more because it will impede his abilities to. Carry.
Right. That's understandable. Well, he's the only one that's really injured right now, so should be enough for now. Just make sure that he can recover during the day. I mean, he did recover a little bit from the day before, but well, we don't have any priests, so. And quite honestly, so long as she is taken care of, so I'd rather she be the recipient of any heals rather than just a guard. Even though she's a very nice person, but you know what I mean.
Yes.
And he awkwardly moves away. Fisher, from inside of you, all you hear is as you're walking away with the rest of the group. Alright, and so this feels like an interesting place to take a break and let everything sink in. And I want to say I'm sorry in advance, Fisher, because this chapter is going to be a bit more, well, maybe a bit less interesting, respect-wise for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll see.
All right, so a little bit of music. Here, let's go with a little bit of rain. It feels like a nice for the mood on this one. All right, so see you all back in 15 minutes. All right, that's and well, take a moment to find something to drink, to eat. Tell friends to come by and watch the second half of the show. And we will be back in, like I said, 15 minutes. See you. Welcome back. Hope you had a pleasant break. You had time to go to the bathroom, get something to eat, rewatch the telling of the story during the evening, as you're apparently going to have to go through the story now.
All I know is we have to save as many of them as we can until the end. Because we need them. Yeah.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah.
So,
But Toby doesn't know that, so, you know.
well, like I said, there's a very strong conflict in Jorg and Tobiashi's mind about the dream and what's not the dream. Audience and Fisher manage to hold on to some things which they can use to just push it back to the point of, okay, no, this is a dream. No. You probably have those moments where you are, well, it's a nice forest. The dream forest. Come on, keep it together. But for Jorg and Tobiyashi, it's really just, well, it is a nice forest. It's too bad we were being pursued by monsters. Are we? Oh, this feels weird. And for Raimi, it's, damn, why am I stuck in another dream like this again?
I did not consent to this.
Alright. Alright, so for those viewing, if they want to know why for Raimi it's so obvious, it's because he's a Kenku. Kenku speak using portion of phrases that express their opinion, their thoughts, but it's how they think. So dreams of a Kenku, they feel like just a montage of a whole lot of clips to pass a message. For Kenku, it's normal to start a dream by being in a toilet somewhere and then stepping out of the door, finding themselves in a desert, talking to someone right next to them, and then turning around and being in an inn, arguing with someone. That's how dreams look like for Kenku. But that's not what Remy is seeing right now. It's moving as fluid as reality. So this is why... This is why he didn't have to make roll. He knows. He doesn't want to know, but he knows. So, as you start making your way inside of the forest, how are you moving about this forest? The guard do warn you that there are scouts ahead, and anyone that is not part of this group is potentially an enemy scout. And they do warn you, Remy, to look at the eyes of anyone you might see in the forest. It's the only thing that betrays someone that's been infected by one of the endless types of parasite aberration just keeps putting in people.
How big is the, like, volume-wise? How much area does the party take up?
Well, your party is pretty much the same, but the troops following you, it's roughly 46 soldiers and 6 guards for the noble lady. So you're not that stealthy as you're walking inside of the forest. Unless you want to really step forward and really act as a forward guard. But you'd be taking all of the pressure of any encounter if you're doing this.
Yeah, but can they group into a 60-foot area so they can pass without trace? Just have a big sneaky clump going.
Everybody get on somebody else's shoulders.
Hold on, there's room on the machine. Let's go.
But at the same time, if we're sneaking, that means we're moving slower, and the army's not going to slow down.
Well, you know that
I guess
you have 1 day. You're 1 day in front of the enemy. 1 day is 3 times 8 hours. If you want to sleep at night, you don't have a lot of spare room. If you don't mind spending 1 night walking and not recovering spells or healing, that does give more room. But this is how much free time you have to play with. 1 day.
Yeah. I don't know. It's the scouts how? Do you guys think he'll be likely to gain us anything if we sneak past the scouts?
Who are you asking? The party or the guards?
Our group.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
including Fisher, because I'm not super aware that I wasn't in on the whole thing with
well,
audience.
that's the thing. You're half stuck in the dream. There are moments where it feels normal that he's keeping quiet and just answering orders, and then you have those moments of why? Wait a minute. Why isn't he answering? I remember. I remember what? I remember something about him. I drank at an inn with him. It's that confusing for you.
Like sometimes I feel like he's an equal, and sometimes I don't.
And sometimes he is a donkey. Basically. I'm letting you decide when those moments come. You just make sure that that they do come from time to time.
Yeah. I'll not cast Pass Without a Trace, since I don't want the group slowing down.
So, Jorg,
Yes.
if we're in this dream, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't we not die? Like, what's the real risk that we're taking here, if this is a dream?
I don't know, but I'm not gonna bet on anything.
Uh-huh.
So
I still think we're
being a wisdom character, Jorg, I would allow you to make probably a religion roll
okay.
for this answer.
Ooh, 22.
Oh, okay.
The Matrix.
So yeah,
It's a Matrix.
Die.
as a druid, it's your duty to help humans and nature to coexist. So you might have actually interpreted a dream or two about it's a prediction, it's a premonition, or things like that. So with a 22, you probably have a little bit of experience interpreting dreams. One thing you remember about dreams, and this is the moment where you're not sure. Maybe you should say this to Tobiashi or not. Technically, in dreams, you can't die, as in the point of view of the dream, because that would be a devastating blow. It would mean that the center of who you are has been destroyed. The main part of your consciousness has been obliterated. So technically he's not... Technically he's right. In a dream you can't die. But then again, if he tries it and he's not in a dream, he's dead.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, technically we wouldn't die, but if this is not a dream, or what if maybe we are asleep? That still doesn't mean it's a dream. We could be on like some other plane or something. You never know. So I'm not gonna gamble on dying.
Okay.
While we're at it, we should probably try to keep these guys alive too.
Yeah. It does feel a little bit too weird, too real around here.
Yeah. And what's with that snarky construct of ours?
I don't know, sometimes he's getting out of line, but, I mean,
Yeah,
I remember something about him not
I know.
always following the rules. I don't know. It's kind of fuzzy a little bit.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh well. I don't understand those things. I will actually cast Pass Without a Trace. And
I've been programmed with special military tactical knowledge and the ability to override orders given if it would keep my charge safe.
Fisher
So,
will
yeah,
remember
you know.
this.
I feel a slight urge to help him carry some of that stuff, but I shake it off.
All right.
Let's round up these guys. I'll cast a spell to keep us hidden, and that'll.
Huddle up, everyone.
Fisher's he's got his own backpack and stuff on his back, and then he's got the soldier's backpack on like his front with everything in it.
Looks like you're carrying a baby. All right, so everyone huddles up as best they can, but you know, if you don't want them, well, if technically 60 feet, huh?
Yeah. How many 5-foot squares is that?
Is that
60 of them, right?
30-foot radius or 60-foot radius?
30-foot radius.
It's a 30-foot
Okay, so-
radius, 60-foot sphere. Or
Yeah.
60-foot diameter.
Okay, so this game's
I mean, if you treat
Alright.
if you treat spheres as squares, it's about 144 squares.
Okay.
It's not going to be comfortable, but yeah, it can be managed. Everyone working, moving in a 60 feet sphere.
Me right in the middle.
Let's go.
Imagine this does slow us down.
I mean,
But
it only
once they
slows
get
them
to this
down if you
part-
actually actively stealth.
Yeah. But yeah, they won't be able to track us
Yeah.
through this chunk that we're invisible, at least.
So
And is Remy gonna go up ahead and like scout, or is he just gonna stay in the front?
I mean, that's what I was doing regardless, but it's nice to know that he doesn't have to worry that much about them being attacked while he's ahead.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So, now the big question. Remy, how are you handling this?
Yeah, so I would say that that probably how remind me again, like we're essentially on like a path of some sort, or
Right now, you are... It's a forest, not an excessively dense forest, but more than an underwood. You know, it's... there are trails. Some you feel like were probably made by animals, but they have been deserted for a while, and nature seems to slowly be reclaiming the environment. Some of them feel human-made. The forest is, well, maybe something like a mile wide. And
Or-
from what you remember from the story, you are walking on a plateau right now that's overlooking the valley where the army is going to pass.
We're heading towards a cave. There are enemy scouts in the woods.
That's what happens when you re-listen
Oh.
to the story during the break.
well, no, I meant more. Is the group following a path specifically, or are we just simply moving as best as we can in the areas that are traversable, given how many people?
Well, seeing as Kalina has put you in front and given you the task of scouting ahead, they place their faith in your ability to find the proper way of crossing this terrain. So you can take a path, take one that was used by animals, or go right down the middle.
Let's see. I think in this case, I think in this case, Raymond would probably go with leading down the abandoned animal paths. Although with a, I will say that, I would say like maybe about 100 feet ahead of Raimi. He is going to have like do like some extra reconnaissance in front in case any dangers are up ahead that he couldn't see himself.
Okay.
It's like essentially Raimi is like Raimi's the middle scout, and then like is the forward scout.
And then there's a huge group walking in a circle, another 100 feet behind you. So the scout has a scout. Okay. Well, in that case, if you are completely alone like this, you have a choice. You can either make perception roll, you can also make survival roll, as you're trying to find your way in a forest.
I think in the end, maybe we'll just continue to rely on his perception.
Okay.
That is going to be a 24.
Okay. So.
And then I'll also make a roll for the familiar as well while I'm thinking about it. They will have a total of, what is that number again? Okay. They roll a 17.
Okay. Well, in that case, for probably the first few hours, it feels like it's going well. After the first hour, of course, unless Jorg wants to recast his spell, the spell eventually wears off and everyone just keeps walking in this big circle as if the spell was still going on.
I'll let them know. That'll give us a good chunk of time where they won't be able to track us easily.
Okay.
So I'll tell them we can unclump.
Give a break in the trail.
Yeah. Mostly just track Raimi.
As you're looking behind and seeing that, oh wow, now that the spell has ended, you're moving and leaving a quite remarkable trail of a lot of people walking in the forest. Wow, you just see this path that appears right from behind you as you're moving forward. Okay. For you, Remy, first the first part of this day goes pretty well. Your familiar manages to notice a group of people walking in the forest, and just as you were suggested, to look for their eyes. And when your familiar approaches this group of 6 people, they look like guards, But as he's approaching, he noticed that they are moving about in a bit of an erratic way, remaining in a group, and he managed to get a glimpse of their eyes, and you see this vacant stare in their eyes, but also this very slight green reflection deep inside their eyes. And for your cat, it feels a bit like moving next to a zombie in a zombie movie. You know, sort of get that moment of and just they keep walking, looking around. So, and with your perception followed by this, you can easily manage to steer the group away from this. And fortunately, because as you're approaching toward the end of this first hour, where Jorg's spell suddenly drops, you sort of realize that you've managed to steer the entire group away from a rather large group of them. Not only 5 or 6 guards, which have this odd stare, but also you see 3 creatures taller than humans. They have this sort of toad-like shape to them. And they seem to be able to give orders to this group. But thanks to your familiar, you managed to steer the group away, and with your extremely high perception roll, you not only manage to steer the group away, but you manage to make sure that they don't realize that there is quite literally a trail forming right behind you when the spell ends. So, the first 2 hours of the day pass, and right now you're feeling confident. But you are aware now that Jorg's spell has ended. Being a rogue, you are painfully aware that the spell has ended. As you start hearing,
He hears every twig, every cough, every
yeah, and you know they're soldiers. You even pick up on the fact that some of them instinctively start walking in unison. This for you, it feels like someone just put a microphone next to your ear, and you just hear this. For everyone else, it's much more subtle. It's just these footsteps that are well coordinated. For you, you have this moment of, come on, why? So after 2 hours of walk, I'd have you make another roll, unless you want to do something with the rest of the party. Scold someone for the sound they're making, but you know, you're moving a small force with you, so.
Raimi almost just like, especially after the second hour, just like I feel like Raimi at that point just has had enough and like walks back a little bit and just looks pleadingly at the party.
Do you want me to cast it again?
He responds in a woman's voice, like, "I've heard cows speak better than you."
I suppose I could use another second level spell slot on that.
You've got a couple.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll cast it again. I'll have everyone group back up. How injured is that one guy?
Well, he's using his spear to walk more comfortably, but you get the feeling that there's a slight exaggeration in the sense that he could probably walk himself. He's just going to be slightly slower. They're basically just making sure that every variable is favorable for him at the expense of a machine. But he can take it.
Yeah. I don't know why I was thinking that was annoying.
As Jorg looks at you, Fisher, for a moment, you see this moment of, I feel bad for him. Why do I feel bad for him? I'm a bit curious. Does audience try to summon his cat?
I've not, no. He would be
Okay.
saving his spell slots. He would have no idea what was going on.
Okay.
Or if he even could, and he would not waste one of his level 2 spell slots on trying to summon a cat.
Okay. So you move on with a group of well-armed soldiers right behind you. Mostly humans. You know, you recognize a dwarf mixed in with that. Just glaring at everyone. Because they keep stepping on his toes. After an hour of walk, you feel like he's gonna rip off the balls of someone. He just walks again on his toes one more time. You recognize in his eyes, the eyes that you've seen in Coven. Come on, step on my toes one more time. Come on, do it. But they're soldiers. They manage to keep their cool in this situation.
Can audience say to the dwarf, careful, careful, someone might step on your toes. Careful where you're walking.
Of course you can say it. You probably just have to walk a little slower for 1 or 2 minutes so that you find yourself inside of the rank of the arm of the troops walking behind you, but of course you can.
I just, you know what? Audience wants to start a little trouble. He's going to say that. Careful where you're walking, someone might step on your toes.
He looks at you with an annoyed look. Yeah, I notice.
And then I'll point to another one of the soldiers. I'd be like, I think it's him, who I've seen step on the dwarf's toe twice. I think he's doing it purposely. I heard in conversation he's not a big fan of dwarves.
Make a
And then I'll
persuasion.
speed back up.
Make a persuasion roll for that.
Yeah, okay, it wasn't that good. It's only a 7. That's unfortunate.
He looks at you really annoyed when you say this. Maybe you want to say this closer to me. Come on, make one less step. And you're realizing that his head is really exactly where it shouldn't be when he says this. For you, specifically.
Yeah. Odds will be like, well, I tried. It was a good fun. Good attempt.
See, the dwarf just keeps walking, very annoyed. You hear him mumble something about, I'll make sure my ancestors remember this. I'll make sure they do.
Audience starting to hate in dwarves. Like it. Yeah, I guess we have no idea if this has effect on the future.
No.
Like, are we actually?
All you know is that the War of Aberration actually occurred. That's as far as your knowledge of this is.
Wait, so if I preach these guys about the dragons in the past, the dragon religion,
Maybe.
become more powerful in the future.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I didn't think of that.
The War of Aberration takes place in the east of the northern half of the world. So, who knows? Maybe there is a cult of the dragon in an island chain far to the east and you didn't know about it. And it's going to be because of that. Who knows?
I'll make sure to do it.
Quick question. Where,
Yeah.
location-wise, the Misty Isles?
Far to the other side, the west.
Okay. Cool. Anyway, I'm just gonna shift my backpack to make sure that my mark is covered.
I will
Just in
sidle up
case.
to Fisher and I'll be like, so Terry's not still with us, right? That's not going to be a problem.
Terra Nad is.
No, not Terranat. You're one.
Yeah.
You didn't check. You don't know.
You could check my backpack if you want.
I feel like it might be a poor idea if we were seen harboring what I've heard, at least from the garden, as an aberrational creature. I'll check Fisher's backpack.
You check in his backpack, and as you open the backpack, go through his things, and open the box where you know Terry is supposed to be, you have this moment of the story that comes back into your mind.
The tiny print.
Toward the end of the story, after a stressful conversation in order to safeguard the existence of their smallest companion, they are allowed in a few days. They're allowed in the city for a few days. Terry is in the box, currently sleeping.
I was hoping that was talking about Raimi for some reason.
Dang.
Terry is in the... So wait, these guys are allied with the... Right?
What?
Are these guys allied with the aberrations?
No.
Because to safeguard... Oh, no, we have to... No, I'm being confused by the story. No, it's fine. I got it. I figured it out. I'm just going to kind of slowly close the box. Maybe pull a few. I'm going to pull a few, maybe close out and kind of drape it over the box. Zip back up the backpack, and I'll just be like, yeah. So, Fisher, you might not want anyone besides us, or if they go to search your backpack, we need to really, really make sure your backpack's not searched.
Yes, sir. You've got classified stuff in there, right?
Yeah, very classified stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does Terry need oxygen?
Well,
It should be good.
What about Warren?
He's got oxygen, and he's got.
No, okay. But I can't
guess
stick him
if
in my.
you bundle
I
him in
can't
a bunch
stick him
of
in my.
clothes, maybe he has less oxygen, but
I can't stick him in my interdimensional space, right?
no, you could not.
In fact,
forward.
if I'm not misremembering, I'm pretty sure that was a whole issue about when Fisher originally put Terry in a box and forgot to put the air holes.
yeah.
Yeah.
You learn that he can hold his breath much longer than anyone can. Near hibernation state, but near. Not complete.
But like if we were getting near a city and feel like our bags are going to be checked, could I stick them in there for like an hour?
You've never tried.
Yeah. I mean, it's it's also really cold in there, but
Also, actually, I'm kind of if it wasn't for the fact that it'd be super obvious, I almost want to see if the dead body is in there.
Yeah, I want to know if we bury it here, will it come back inside the dimensional space?
I mean, that is definitely one way to hide evidence. If we bury it in the
Yeah.
past, like
Oh
See,
man, there it is.
maybe I should.
Mm.
Do I have the tiny blob in a jar?
Yes, it's in your backpack.
Okay.
So you look at
There's-
the tiny blob in a jar?
Yeah. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
You remember buying it? The
okay.
story is slightly different than the actual one, but oddly enough, and this is something that, well, unless you say something, but there's no reason for you to say something, you remember buying it from Ganbu, but not at the place where you actually bought it outside of this place. You remember seeing his tent at a crossroad? The War of Aberration takes place 1,300 years ago.
Damn. Well, for me, it's now, so I don't realize how weird that is.
No, but well, you know, there are bubbles of it that comes up in your mind, but just bubbles.
Mm-hmm.
And
Like, I'm like,
disappears.
what? He's really old, and I'm like, why do I think that?
I mean, future Jork will be asking him later for skincare tips.
Yeah, Jorg and Tobiashi will most likely have a lot of questions if you all survive. Alright, so as audience realize that there might be a very awkward conversation in the future, Remy, you need to make another.
Now that the group is suddenly much quieter again.
Make another roll.
Wow, that was a hop. All right, Ramey's roll is a 26, and Familiar's roll is a 15.
Okay. You have this moment of damn, but also, well, here goes our margin. Because your cat gets surprised by this large beast that looks like a toad. As it's turning and it's suddenly looking at this creature, you just... through the eyes of your cat, all you see is those two giant fists going... and you are aware that your cat has just been... You're not supposed to go there.
Yeah, Ramey will just casually, not casually, direct the group away from that area.
The rest of the hour, however, goes relatively well. You believe that, although it cost your familiar for the moment, you managed to steer the group away from problems. But again, you're walking and everything is relatively good, and you're noticing that no trail is left behind, and then suddenly, cling, ka-tong, ka-tong, kong, 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 kong.
All right, I'll do it again. Just two consecutive hours without a trail. Ooh, I was used to the silence.
That's the real reason you cast again.
Just have silence. All right. Okay, so you're arriving near the middle of the day. Um, for the next hour, Remy, make a. Well, now you only have your perception roll.
Uh-huh. I
Unless.
will say, like, there'll be probably a slight alteration of strategy where Raimi will be about 150 feet up instead of 100,
Okay.
just to help compensate for the fact that Familia is no longer there. It's gonna be 23.
Okay. Oh, it's still pretty good. You're walking in the forest, and everything looks to be fine. You feel like this was a good decision, as you do recognize a clearing that is to your right. But you also recognize that that doesn't look like a naturally forming clearing. It feels like a large area has been deforested for some reason. So you manage to steer clear of that little area, and even the group as you're moving by, you have this moment of when you look to your right, you see this clearing not too far away. Really, really comfortable with the fact that Jorg has placed a magical ward around everyone as they're walking. Yeah, usually it's a pretty big group that'll make a clearing that size. Maybe even a small camp. You keep on moving.
I just get the feeling that at some point Rainey was involved in a very similar kind of ambush. Anyway.
Most likely. Most likely, yes. The rest of the day goes relatively well. However, as you're reaching the first half of the day, and some guards, some soldiers do start expressing a need for a short break, just eating a few rations. As always, the guard itself just looks at at Kalina and suggests that we should take a short break for her. Nothing long, really. The the essential short rest, quite literally, both in meta elements than in the game. And it can be just 20 minutes, unless you want to replenish a resource that takes a little bit more than this. But they do suggest this. However, as you're all arriving and expectantly waiting for, well, either Remy or audience to say, yes, we can stay here. Remy, you aren't that confident that although you've been able to avoid the enemy, there's this nagging sensation inside of you saying that you think someone has picked up your trail. There is a risk. George, your blob is just wiggling slightly in his bottle. It's more than when you're walking in the on the Estrin, but it's not a strong wiggle as if you were shaking the jello.
Raimi, I guess, as he's like addressing the group, will say in kind of like the calmer, more wizened voice that he doesn't use as much, but says, "You'll never know when the tiger's upon you. until they're upon you.
You hear Kalina go, a very cryptic. I guess it goes with the appearance. I'm sorry, I don't want to offend you exactly, but I always get the two black birds mixed. So I'll just never sure if it's supposed to be a crow or
Amy starts to tear up a little bit.
I'm just saying that your appearance works really well with this mystical way of talking you have. But I think I understand the general meaning of what you're saying. So it's a risk. Well, I'm going to leave the decision to my noble heroes following me. Mr. Holy Knight, maybe you have an opinion? Maybe you'd like to consult your experts of weeds?
So Remy, I'll turn to Remy. I'll be like, so you're fairly sure someone's tracking us, right?
Raimi nods.
Okay. Can you get any sense of how far away they might be or not?
Without asking the DM, I'm assuming.
Right now, it's more of a feeling as if they... It feels like maybe you walked just a little too close to that large clearing, and judging by the hole that the group leaves when the spell ends and everyone starts walking again, there is a chance that someone might be able to connect the dots. And you just have that weird sensation of someone watching you from somewhere.
But the party needs the soldier party needs a long rest. They're exhausted.
Short rest. It's the
They
middle
need
of the
short
day.
rest.
It's a short rest.
They need like 4.
Should we find
They need
somewhere to
20
hide
minutes.
ourselves?
The
Until
group
then?
needs 20 minutes.
I don't
Like
know
a
if we
cave?
can hide through-
Don't think we're at the cave.
No, we just gotta keep moving. We gotta keep moving till we get there. They'll take a rest there.
I'm enjoying the concept of giving the players the ability to meta an encounter without actually it being...
Does anyone remember how far the cave was? Because actually, that's a good point that Toby makes.
Yeah.
Wait, what cave? I was talking about a cave?
I believe the cave is...
I don't know how helpful it would be, but I could put a bear totem down. It'll give people advantage on strength.
It'll get everybody a pile of temporary hit points
Yeah.
that will last until the morning.
And also, it resets on a short rest. But if we're not short resting, I could still use it if that boost in strength would help them keep walking.
Right, and if you want to remember where that cave is, since Tobiyashi has gone back into the dream and doesn't remember why he mentioned the cave, I'd say intelligence roll, because it's memory.
All right. Well, I'm great at these, so let's go.
Nat 20.
What?
Well,
I did not specifically take note of when the cave was, other than at the end of the forest, after evading a bunch of troops in the forest.
Yeah, no, I'm back in the dream. I rolled an 8.
I got a 13.
Okay. Since for you it's only been something like 4 hours since the story, for audience and Fisher, for Fisher it's even more easy because, like you said, natural 20. So sort of this moment of, oh yeah, right. It's supposed to be at the end of the day, and there's a clue that it's gonna happen. Kalina is going to pass a judgment that there's no choice. You have to change sides, from the sides of the valley. Essentially, the valley is cradled between two plateaux. And unfortunately, at the end of the day, she will realize that there's really no choice. You have to change plateau, otherwise you'll be stuck on the looking on the outside toward the city.
I said, I think we can afford a 20. In my opinion, we can afford a 20-minute rest. I think we risk it.
Yeah, I will cast my bear totem now, anyways, so I get it back.
Okay.
All right, I guess we're resting.
Everyone gets 5 plus my 11 temporary hit points.
Okay.
Painful.
Everyone.
So
looks-
hopefully that guy can carry his shit now.
Wait, what? Why did you want?
Yeah, wait. What do I want? Stuff. Maybe so he can carry my stuff.
That would be. Please do it.
Maybe so he could carry my stuff. Yeah.
Jorg is jealous. He wants Fisher to carry his stuff. Alright, so you tell everyone to gather around, huddle up, and you cast your totem, this ethered form of a bear. Is it completely invisible, or is it just without mass?
It is without mass.
Okay, so it's visible but without mass, like an illusion.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I believe it says spectral in the description.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. So
Yeah.
looks a little ghostly even. So you have Jorg placing himself at the center of the group. Well, he is already there. So, and then concentrating, and then his bear totem arrive, and you hear from the crowd just a lot of people go, whoa. And then
No, he actually just blew powder in everybody's face, and they're just seeing this.
And then they all feel this temporary energy flowing through them, and you hear, ah. Unfortunately, there's only one benefit that they really feel, so you don't get the last, oh, you know.
The clown.
But they all feel invigorated by this. They all have a small amount of temporary points. The injured party member just... Well, maybe you could tend to his wound. You're there for 20 minutes.
Yes.
You have time.
So, Remy,
I'll take a peek at it.
should we take watch while everybody's resting, or should we rest also?
Make a medicine roll, Jorg.
Medicine. Ooh. 11.
Oh, I see what the problem is. You're wounded here. You squeeze the bandage. Ah!
All right, don't touch it.
But my leg's going blue.
I guess I'll let Fisher keep carrying his stuff.
But it's enough. The DC is 10 if they're not severely wounded. So it's
Oh, okay.
it's really just right there on the cusp of actually hurting him. All right. Well, he can use hit dice to recover a little bit. Hold on.
I'm having a bad feeling about this injured guy.
Let's cut off his leg and let Fisher carry him.
Maybe. Well, you said the aberrations have parasites, right? So if he got attacked by one, he could have a parasite in him.
Are you saying this as you're talking to Remy about who's going to...
Yeah. That's what I'm doing.
So Remy, now you have two decisions to make. Are you going to take turn looking at this, and then you have to decide if Tobiyashi's right and you should kill the guard? Seems like deja vu.
So Raimi is going to wonder about whether at some point he should instruct Tobiyashi in the ways of roguing. Because obviously the murderous tendencies are coming out.
Whoa, no, I was just thinking. It's just what I heard, okay?
But Raimi, at the very least, though, is like as part of him doing the watch, he's actually going to climb one of the trees to get a better view, especially of behind them.
Okay.
Not that it would necessarily be as obvious as they themselves, but like, at the very least, in case there are any large groups being organized.
Okay.
I mean, especially if they're like one of the zombie-like ones, they're probably not being that stealthy.
All right.
All things considered.
All right, make a perception roll. As you're perching yourself at the top of a tree, looking out like all good crows do.
Actually, I guess since at this point, I guess treating this at the end of a actually, I guess I probably should have asked this.
Yep.
This is essentially treated as though like a long rest had happened.
When you arrived in there, yes, you did have a long rest. But right now, you're taking a short rest.
I was mostly just trying to figure out if I had any charges in my lantern left over from the previous air quote night, even though night has happened.
Yeah, all of your objects.
Because usually it's. I'm mostly just asking, like, because the awkwardness of because like a charge lasts for 8 hours.
And you.
So essentially, do I have one or two?
Well, so you placed 2 when you arrived in your room at the end of the day. Is that it?
But yeah, that's what I do at the end of every night.
So one charge lasts 8 hours, I said, or 4 hours?
It lasts for 8 hours.
Lasts for 8 hours. Okay.
So usually at the end of a long rest, I have one charge left in there that lasts for an 8-hour period.
Okay. Then yes, you do notice when you look at the shutters on your lantern that there is a slight bit of light coming from under it. So.
All right then. I'm mostly just making sure, just so I no for bookkeeping.
Okay.
Yeah, so like Raimi will go ahead and use that one charge to give advantage on this perception roll because it's kind of important.
I guess I'll just perceive on the ground him just leaving me without any answers.
You think we should kill
Well,
him? Where is he going?
I don't know if the advantage did it, but it is now a natural 20 with a 30. So
Sorry, not good enough.
Oh, you
Can't see anything. No, there's just this fog coming in. Yeah. No, actually, and with the roll that you made, climbing up the tree and looking everywhere else, well, you do have confirmation that there's probably something following you, as you do see a little bit of rumbling in the woods. Doesn't feel like it's very focused, so it might be a small group of the more zombie-like infested guards following you, but there is movement in the bushes, and you get the feeling that it's a good thing you didn't decide to stay here for half an hour. However, knowing roughly where they are, nearly exactly with a natural 20, you're nearly, oh, there's a bird coming. Okay, they're right there. You can also guess that you might be able to take the group and make a surprise attack on them. There's not that many of them. The foliage isn't moving as if there was a group of 30 of them moving. It's probably a group of, I don't know, between 4 and 6 of them walking about. And you know by experience that guards usually aren't that high level. But you also notice with this roll, looking out, and it's the first time you really take the moment to see the valley that's next to you, and you realize that your trajectory is slowly moving toward the edge of the plateau. But you see the vast numbers of them, and you're not sure if the dream is forcing this number or if it's the actual numbers of that time, and this is accurate history. But if it is, you never imagined that this fight was this desperate. It is easily an army that numbers in the tens of thousands of soldiers advancing. Army that large are uncommon. And according to the history that you know, this is just one wave. They said that they've been in this war for 50 years. There are going to be waves like this on and on and on every few days for another 50 years.
So, I guess we should leave.
And from where you are, you do notice that, oh, it's spilling over to the plateau where we are. They're much further, but it's a good thing you didn't stay where you were for 2 days. But this is what you see.
just as Raimi kind of like lets that moment sink in for a moment before making his way down the tree and I guess very specifically over to audience and says
So about killing that guy, no.
He gets down, turned toward audience, and Tobiyashi starts harassing him again, killing the guard.
Anyway, Raimi says to audience, Some ants have strayed from the hill.
Yeah, I can see that. Should we leave? Or will we be all right?
And I guess making sure that Raimi at least poses the option. It's like it's a answer easy to squish if you stomp quickly.
I mean, I don't think we can kill 10,000 for me.
Well, audience, you
Raimi's
didn't
going-
see the 10,000.
Oh,
That-
well, like,
I mean, Raimi is going to minor illusion what he saw. the small collection moving in, air quote collection.
You see a
Small
bird's
skittering.
eye view of the forest where you are, and you see this bits of foliage just moving slightly. And you'd agree with Remy, being good technician, being in martial class, you'd agree with Remy. It's a very small group, maybe between 4 and 6, that have managed to pick up your trail.
four to six. Okay. I'll be like, all right, let's get our party together. We won't let the maybe not make a big cuss about this. If we can take them out quick and quiet, not make a big disturbance, we can let the other guards continue to have their short rest.
Raimi nods.
Let's take the injured one out with us. No.
All right. I'm gonna quietly make my way over to. I'm gonna be like, go get the party together, and then I'm gonna quietly make my way over to the noble lady and be like, and basically lean in and whisper to her, let the guards rest. Me and the party have to go take care of a couple rats that have been following us. We'll be back in a moment.
Oh dear. Yes, of course, of course. Noble heroes and their bodyguard. Please do, please do.
All right.
So you gather around with Tobiashi that keeps whispering in all your ears, he might be infected. We should probably just rapidly. No one gonna know.
We don't want him to turn in the middle of everyone, because if he turns in the middle of everyone, he'll start infecting other people, and then. No, I'm just looking out for the group. I definitely don't want to kill anybody. No.
All right. I'll be like, all right. Well, I guess I'll wait for Remy to bring the group over.
All right. Well, Fisher, you're probably not very far from audience since he is your master. So,
Yep.
And George, you're probably at the center of the group, so quite easy to find. Remy, you just have to follow the guy that just keeps doing, that's too tight! You managed to
Alright.
get her up. Apparently, Tobiashi, this is annoying. No one's listening to you saying that you should kill a guard. You keep talking to them about this, but no one's reacting.
Yeah, I'll just stop. I'll be like, you know what? If it happens, it happens. I've warned them.
Alright, so... yes?
Does have a point.
Let's go. Another person on the team.
I'm not gonna. We shouldn't kill him, but we should keep our eyes on him.
All right.
Alright, so
Yeah.
you all gather around and prepare yourself to surprise a group of enemy walking in the forest. And don't worry, I will not make you enter a fight. it's 14 minutes after the normal time of the stream. This
Let's
will
do
be
it, let's
for
do
the
it.
beginning of the next stream. So we'll be starting off with a fight, apparently.
I stealth.
Stealth roll.
Nice.
Let's go, stealth
good.
roll. 25.
Oh, yeah.
Woo! Okay,
Okay,
I'll remember that for next week.
I'll do my best.
I'll keep that.
Come on, you got this. I believe in you. I'm giving you bardic inspiration when I'm not a bard.
That's a 15.
It's not.
Let's go.
It's good. That's good.
Disadvantage +0. And I still got a 15.
All
Am I a
right.
spoiled brat if I say that I'm sad that I only got an 18?
Well, I got a 6. So I don't think it matters if you guys know.
Audience forgot to take his boots off.
I
You're
did.
gonna take his boots off.
I did. Get to
His
pick
earth
Oh
boots.
god, no wonder they found us.
Yeah, that wasn't the
They could
army.
hear
That
the-
was just audience. The rest of the troops are pretty quiet.
All
Like
right.
they could hear the clap of his ass cheeks from miles away.
Aww. All right, so the party stealthily, mostly, make their way toward the enemy group that are following them, and we'll learn next episode if the party managed to surprise the undead-like guards following them. I feel like there should be a clue of what's the most probable outcome of this. We'll see. We'll see if audience has ruined the surprise or not. So, as always, thank you for watching. Now let's put some. What are you placing? Rain, campfire, thunderstorm.
Thunderstorm's good.
Thunderstorm. All right.
I also like rain. I also like campfire. I like all of them.
I'm trying to make more. Actually, I don't like the campfire that I made. I want to make a different one. One where you hear less of
forget-
the. Well, no, it's the sound of the fire that I don't like. Trying to maybe get something that you hear more of the crackling and popping of the fire rather than the flame itself. It always feels like microphone or have a really hard time catching a good fire sound. So. But hey, that's my problems. That's not yours. Lightning! So, like I was starting to say, thank you for watching. I hope you had a pleasant evening. I hope you enjoyed watching the show. And I hope you will be there next week for apparently a fight that we'll see if audience has transformed a surprise into a not so surprise. So,
All his previous stealth checks he's made on the back of his cat, so he's out of practice.
oh yeah, that's right. Okay, well, yeah, you know, it's the way that he moves. He's not on a cat. That's the difference. Should have known.
He's only good at stealthing when he's riding that pussy.
I was so waiting
God,
for
yeah,
that
okay.
joke.
We end it now.
What an end note.
All right.
Gotta get out.
Thank you for watching. If you're watching this on Wednesday, we hope you'll be there next Wednesday. If you're watching this on Friday for the rebroadcast, we hope you'll be there next Friday for the next rebroadcast. So, thank you for watching. As always, if you enjoyed the show, you can support the stream by following us on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. You can also support the stream by making a donation, becoming a Patreon, subscribing to the channel. Or if you can't do any of those, you can always help by spreading the word of this channel, telling your friend, they're not half bad, they're actually decent, they're fun to laugh at. Whichever the case, it's going to be a pleasure to have you with us. And as always, stay safe and stay healthy, especially right now. Bye.
Jedi.